that's where constitutional enforcement comes in. You see what I'm saying? But if you don't know your rights, you're not going to say those things. That's why we want to make sure you have all your basics. So you know how to think on your feet, because they're going to be coming at you. You understand what it says?
They sell your house, okay?
They're selling their house. It was never yours. So let's get this very clear. Let's look. Hold on. Let's get this clear. They're allegedly selling a house that you thought was yours. It's called sharecropping. So if you're sharecropping, mortgage means dead promise, dead engagement. So if it's dead and dead promise, what point do you think you're on? What? That's number one. Now, they call you owner to put the burden of the tax on you. But you never owned it. Now, complete your sentence.
Can you challenge the ownership to get out of paying taxes?
If you know that now, you know the argument, don't you? Say it again. A quick claim, then you make a quiet claim. But in order for it to be sound, again, you must be appropriate persona, because you can't just arbitrarily change that condition. You know how to say the status is not just temporary?
Right, so you put your nation stamp on it.
You always do. See, this is what's happening. This is what happened. Let's look at this. The U.S. democracy is a private foreign corporation and will be listed accordingly in Delaware, the 501c3. Not to be confused with land. But because the people don't know themselves and the corporate state have wardship over you, they're actually in possession of your estate. This will be registered in the Library of Congress in Washington, D.C., the largest library under the Zodiac Constitution, which CMA filed in 1947. In other words, the 12 jurymen is actually representative of the Europeans being in control of the Moorish estate. That's why they're obligated in international law to supply you with food, clothing, and shelter without you having to submit to the Marian Christ idol God worship stuff, which they've been imposing on people. But if you don't know your rights, you're not going to argue that, are you? So my point that I'm making to you, if the people really would study this and understand what nationality is, they would unite because they have the political forum by which to do these things. That's what the unity is. The unity is a political forum. Unity in government means nationalization. It doesn't mean, we came together and party and had barbecue. Our concepts are wrong.
One question with that.
Go ahead.
A land patent. Would you have to research the land patent?
Land patent is for Europeans. Our concepts are so wrong. And see, these are the little subtleties that I remind you of when I say a lot of times you can look at like Friedman's information and the argument is correct. But if you don't understand the status, you will classify yourself under a naturalization principle, which means those principles can be removed because it's a privilege. Please read naturalization and nationalization out the law book and get this very clear. This is why it's important for all the Asiatics to know from North America, Central America, the islands, and South America, all in the Moorish Americas. Because if you let them separate you, then they're claiming jurisdiction. But this is the empire, this is the political state. See, that was a divide and conquer. That's what the divide and conquer is. Making up all those brand names, same family, right? Right? Same family, you black, your son is Afro-American, your uncle is Negro, your dad's colored, mother's a soul sister. It's all, they already run this because they already know they got worship. You're not going to go to no Italian family and the dad's Italian, the mom's a Noodle-Loni, son's rigatoni, daughter's spaghetti, cousins of Mediterranean salad, whatever they are this week. And we don't know that that's a violation of law for no whatever tokens. Do you understand? But that takes us, that puts us into wardship automatically. You know, this is why, hey, when you start seeing these different colors, things that don't matter what color you are, that's why that only exists with these people here. They don't know it's an issue of birthright. Well, I'm a light skin, orange skin, green guy. You can't think, I got rights. I wanted to know where the light skin, black organization of rights is. It don't exist. Plus, black people come in shades. Duh. And it ain't had nothing to do with human beings.
I saw a show on television where a married couple was evicted out of the house for not paying taxes. They did it as an act of contract resistance. Now, the government sold the house, right?
They can come back at them if they
Wait,
want.
the house was situated in a land trust that the people who were in the house were members of this land trust. So they left the house proper, can't afford the grounds. They can't put us off of this because we're part of the land trust.
Exactly. Yes, but in order to be land trust, ultimately to win that argument, you must be of the land too. So now it's national organism.
Because the people who been doing
And this is
the
really
house,
what's happening.
then they have to leave their property, and they are back.
Now, listen to what happens. Even like in the city, what they're doing in cities. I'll tell you what they're doing in cities. You know, like I said, the city of Philadelphia, take somebody's house up here. They really ain't taking the house, they're taking the land.
Yeah, the land.
And then tearing your house off their land. Because they never owned it. Even when they so-called owned it. But they're claiming wardship of the land when actually they don't own the land either. But since the Aboriginals are not claiming their birthright, it's under wardship. So they don't have to count for the body or the land of their heirs. This is how they're getting over. And this is back to what I'm saying. If these people just nationalize and understand what it is, they can take all the property back. They just reverse the same process as the state is using. They got not only the same authority, they got the superior authority. But they don't trust themselves. And they don't know themselves. And they won't be themselves. That's what our problem is. We're trying to get the people to be themselves. And it's and the European keeps claiming wardship. That's all that's really happening here. And so we're breaking it down so you can understand what they're doing and how it's done. Because once you analyze it for yourself, you will see your power within the mix. It's just that we've never exercised it, so we still have a subordinate mind. That's what our problem is. We have a subordinate mind. It's not that the information is not there. It's not that it's not clear. But we have a subordinate mind, and so even though it's there, that's why we got to redundantly keep going over, because you have to be baptized, you have to be purged. Because we're still contaminated with the idea that they own this, and they don't. So,
the subordinate mind and ingrained fear.
yes, both can.
Once we can overcome the fear, it can us fall.
Now, and then look at this, sister. When the people start exercising these, right? These is your testing ground. This is for you to start exercising that right, so that you can begin to see. You understand what I'm saying to you? This is why, Brother Kurt, as an example, when we started coming up Harlem, you know, as an example, brother come up there, you know, one of the brothers, a good brother, I won't mention because since we're on tape, which you know, he's a preacher of a mega church up there.
Correct.
And come up, you know, he would get information here and there. And he had a lot of tickets with his family and stuff like that. And so he asked questions, and one day, I think he might have been there, Gabe Rich, we talked after class. So he went down to, in New York, got a corrupted system on how they work this thing, busted the tickets. Then he recognized he didn't have to believe anything. All he had to do was enforce the law. Now he's around helping a lot of people. He's working. Do you understand what I'm saying?